India, an Asian country filled with many great people, a little over 1 billion actually. It is the seventh largest country in the world and inhabits many different kinds of animals, crucial for the rest of the world and Indian life. It is also the birthplace to many great religions practiced all around the world, one very famous one being Hinduism, which is a polytheistic religion based on belief.
Date on when Hinduism started, but it dates back to 2000 BC. Because Hinduism wasn't strictly created as it is now, I will tell of the religions that have Hindu-like attributes. Starting us off is the Indus Valley civilization. This related to Hinduism because it had ritual bathing, sacrifice, and goddess worship. Moving to the Vedic period, which was 1500 to 500 BCE, this related to Hinduism because they worship many gods called devas. Next was the Epic, Puranic, and Classical Age, 500 BCE to negative 500 CE. In this period, the Vedic tradition of sacrifice was minimized for the practice of devotional worship of deities in a temple. Also in this period are many attributes of modern-day Hinduism, including devotion and temple worship. Next is the medieval period, 500 CE to 1500 CE. From 500 CE, we see devotion in the rise of major Hindu deities, including Vishnu, Shiva, and Devi. Also, temples were created for certain deities. In this period, Muslims began. In this time, religious scripts were written in Sanskrit and other languages. Next, the pre-modern period, c. 1500 to 1757 CE. In this period, Muslims began to take over with Islam. One ruler allowed Hindus to practice, but his great-grandson restricted it and destroyed some of their temples. Moving on to the British period, 1757 to 1947 CE. At this era, there was British supremacy in India. At first they let Hindus practice freely, but later they started preaching Christianity. In the 19th century came the Hindu Renaissance, where people such as Ram Mohan Roy presented Hinduism as a rational, ethical religion, though Dayandra Saravasti wanted Hinduism to return to the Vedic version where omnipotent and impersonal God, to quote him. They both wanted to rid Hinduism of any superstition. Now independent India, 1947 to CE to the present, where violence erupted in the Hindu religion after the partition of India. They tore down the Babri Mosque in belief that it was strategically put at the site of Rama's birth. In 1960s, Hindus practice such as transcendental meditation caught the attention of celebrities such as the Beatles. There was also the Hare Krishna movement, where men sported shaved heads and saffron robes and practiced bhakti yoga.
That was great, Dan. Now back to you.
Mahatma Gandhi practiced Hinduism from the age of childhood through his life. However, his first encounter with it was at 19 in Britain. There he met some Theosophical Society members who told him to look at some Hindu texts, especially the Bhagavad Gita, which is talked about later. Next we have Shankara, 780 to 812. Shankara was born in Kerala. He traveled vastly, defeating Buddhists and other people of Nastika movements. This was to reestablish Vedic texts throughout India. Next is Abhinavagupta, c. 1960 to 1020. Abhinavagupta is a representative of Kashmiri Shaivism and wrote the multi-volume Tantraloka. And then there's Ramanuja, 1017 to 1137. Ramanuja taught devotion to Vishnu. He gave the idea that the universe is the Lord's body.
The most ancient texts that Hindus know and define truth for them are Vedas, said to be passed down from the gods and then generation to generation by word of mouth. Four very famous Vedas that are very different are the Samhitas, the oldest portion of the Vedas and contain hymns of praise to God. The Brahmanas are prayers and rituals that help the priests do their jobs. The Aranyakas are about worship and meditation, and the Upanishads that shows the mystical and physiological parts of Hinduism. All these texts are used very often everywhere in prayer, along with some other famous ones, like the Bhagavad Gita, which is known as the Song of the Lord, and is part of the Mahabharata, the longest poem in the world. Another famous one is the Ramayana, and tells a tale about the prince Rama.
When worshipping, Hindus use murtis, mantras, and yantras. These are images, prayers, and diagrams of the universe in that order. Worshipping for Hindus is usually a single-person affair, but sometimes done with families. When this happens, one person makes an offering, like fruit, water, incense, or flowers to the deities, and repeat mantras. They also worship with a shrine. The shrine can be very many things, from a statue to just pictures of gods. There are three main types of Hindu rituals, which are Nitya, which are rituals performed day to day at a home shrine with one's family, usually done 3 times a day. Naimitika are rituals only done on holidays and special occasions. Kamya are optional and desirable rituals like pilgrimage. Pilgrimage is a way to be seen and see the deities and is usually done in certain holy places. All of these rituals can be done with a headscarf worn a certain way and made out of different material depending on who you are.
Prayer is one of the ways to be in communication with deities. It serves a purpose to ask a god for something, confess, and praise. It also can be an act of sharing on what is someone's mind. A Hindu prayer is called a prarthana, and all prayers for them are just an act of communicating with the deities. In Hinduism, the most popular form of prayer is the chanting of mantras. Other forms are also yoga and meditation, and which all show devotion to the gods. Hinduism is a polytheistic religion, making them believe in more than one god. It is believed that there are 3 major gods in this religion, and they are Shiva, Vishnu, and Shakti. The people who believe in this say that most of the other deities worshipped in their religion are usually related somehow to these 3 or other forms of these gods. It is also believed that Parabrahma is the main god, and all the other gods are other forms of him. Devas are also common in Hinduism, meaning human or partially human form of a god. The devas are sometimes said to be a form of Brahma, with their own set of various traits and qualities, also worshipped as murtis.
Hinduism has about 900 million adherents today. Thank you for watching our movie. Subscribe.